myself and clients in 1999. I think it was the first time I started buying them.
How much was gold per ounce back?
Well, gold was under 300. It was and it was near the peak of the Nasdaq, and when it really started to get ridiculous, and gold stocks were ultra cheap back then, and I started buying them. And then I started selling and recommending physical precious metals, and I bought myself both gold, silver, platinum. Probably in 2001, I think I started selling it, and now we sell a tremendous. I probably sell more physical bullion per month today than I used to do in brokerage business when I first started, in 2000. So we're selling a lot of gold.
Where does it go from here?
A lot higher. I mean, first of all, look where oil is. Oil is now at $120 a barrel. So if you look at the relationship that gold has to oil, you would expect it to be close to 10 to 1. So with $120 a barrel oil, you should see gold around $1,200 an ounce. And I think it'll get there before the end of the year.
Help me understand this, though, Peter, and pretend this is the average investor asking. What do you do? Gold is this kind of thing that you buy the bars of it or you buy the physical gold and you don't do anything with it. You just hold it.
Yeah, gold is money. And money retains its value. That's the good thing about money. The problem is what everybody is using that they think is money, dollars, doesn't retain its value because Ben Bernanke is printing it like crazy. In fact, there was news that came out today on Freddie Mac, these huge losses that they have. And, if Fannie Mae is going to go bankrupt and Freddie Mac unless the Federal Reserve creates a substantial amount of inflation to prop up the housing market. And so the only way that these companies won't go bankrupt is if they create so much inflation, gold's probably going to be at $5,000 an ounce.
But if the dollar does make a comeback, if the world considers its current moves and its future moves to be serious about stopping inflation, to not lower the interest rates anymore, will gold continue to go up?
The dollar's not going to make a comeback. I don't care how much they talk it up. It's going to continue to sink.
That's not what I asked. If it does, if the dollar does hold its value.
It's impossible for that to happen. You might as well ask me, if pigs sprout wings, can they fly? The dollar's not going to go up.
Paul Volcker did stop inflation back in the 80s.
Right.
It's possible to do it.
No.
If Bernanke does it, will gold continue to go up?
No, he can't. What did Volcker do? He put interest rates at 20%.
Up to 20%.
All right, is Ben Bernanke going to put interest rates at 20%?
So far he hasn't.
Yeah, and if he did, would our economy completely collapse if we had 20% interest?
It didn't back in the 80s.
Well, because we didn't have a $10 trillion national debt financed with T-bills.
We had a lot of debt compared to the GNP.
No.
It was still substantial.
Back in 1980, the national debt was, majority of it was 30-year government bonds, and it was owned by other Americans. Now the debt is majority T-bills, 2-year T-bills owned by the Saudis and the Chinese and the Japanese. It is a huge difference. There were no adjustable rate mortgages. Basically, the Fed no longer has the tools to defend the dollar. All it can do is debase it.
Watch this, David. Watch this. Peter, should we go back to the gold standard?
Well, Corey, you know the answer to that question.
His head's imploding.
No, well, we wouldn't have had
Peter,
a Nasdaq bubble. We wouldn't have had
wipe your mouth.
Yeah, we wouldn't have had a Nasdaq bubble. We wouldn't now be on the verge of an unprecedented collapse in the American standard of living because of years of monetary excess. I would have much rather had a gold standard than Alan Greenspan and now Ben Bernanke.
Actually, it is true. If we had linked the dollar to gold back in the days when you first bought in a big way in 1999, what would oil be now?
10-year chart here on
what would oil be now?
Well, I mean, look, you go back even further. We separated from gold in 1971. If we were still on a gold standard, oil would be about $3.50 a barrel.
Wow.
All the difference is inflation. And when the government
we'd be making about $500 a year.
Well, but we'd have a higher standard of living. I don't know what we would be making, but yeah, we wouldn't have as high a salary, but the purchasing power, that's what's important. And when the government now, they look at oil prices at $120 a barrel, they look what's happening with food prices, and they say, well, this is because of global economic growth, it's because of China, it's because of OPEC. It's not. All of it is because of the Fed. It's all because they're printing money, and that's why you got to own gold.
Okay, so can we broaden this discussion to other metals like silver and platinum, and then maybe the non-precious ones?
Well, silver has always been a monetary metal, and I think, gold and silver kind of go hand in hand. I think that there's a bigger move coming in silver. If gold is at $5,000 an ounce, silver could be at $500 an ounce, and the ratio might be 10 to 1. Now it's, 40, 50 to 1.
By the way, when do you think gold will be $5,000 an ounce? How long from now?
Well, I mean, I don't know exactly when. I don't have a crystal ball to know the exact date.
Ballpark figure.
I don't know. Probably before the end of maybe the next presidential term. So for 5 years from now, it could be up there. I think it could be, it could be $2,000 an ounce sometime next year.
All right.
All right. We'll save the tape.
We will
save them all. I save them myself.
All right, Peter Schiff.
I'm shocked that he would save his own tapes. Of course.
Well, we're going to switch gears.